Welcome back, everyone. Over the course of just 10 years, Brazil's digital NUBANK grew from a relatively small operation offering credit cards without fees into one of Latin America's major players in the financial industry. Our correspondent in Brazil, Paulo Cabral, looked into the growth of NUBANK and into the possibilities opened up for other technology-based financial companies.
André Moreira was an early NUBANK adopter and is enthusiastic about digital banking. He opened his account back in 2017, lured by the absence of service fees usually charged by Brazilian banks and by the possibility of having full bank services on his smartphone, never having to visit a branch again.
I had some friends who were quite skeptical at first. I think some older family members, being more accustomed to the traditional model, were skeptical at first. But I think that quickly NUBANK also gained a lot of relevance in the market, became a well-known and trusted name.
And NUBANK did grow. The company says it's on track to net $1 billion in profits this year, after surpassing a customer base of 90 million people in Latin America last fall. About 5 million of them are in Mexico and Colombia, but the vast majority are in Brazil's competitive banking market, where NUBANK was born in 2013 and has grown since to become a major player without having a single branch on the country's streets. According to media reports, growth in Mexico is now part of the company's core plan for the near future.
When it comes to fintechs, we need to understand that we are talking about money, dealing, the market of money. So if you have countries with high interest rates, big yields like Brazil and Latin America at large, we can see that it's more profitable to do those business here, like fintechs.
NUBANK has been a pioneer among digital banks and one of the most successful, helping give rise to a diversified ecosystem of financial market startups, commonly known as fintechs.
This economy professor founded his fintech, called Wallet, in 2017. He found a niche offering a credit card geared for small farmers. Last year, it moved around $1.2 million.
We actually, nowadays, we don't have several products that they currently have in US, Europe, Asia. So actually, we have a huge opportunity here in Latin America to come over fintechs and other companies here in Brazil.
It's a fast-changing world in the financial market, with NUBANK among companies making the most of the opportunities that are arising. Paulo Cabral, CGTN, São Paulo.
With NUBANK gaining more than 90 million customers throughout Latin America, they are hoping to join the ranks of other direct banks such as Discover and Ally into breaking into the United States. A lofty goal. Let's talk more about that. For that, we bring in John Quelch, the Vice Chancellor of Duke Kanshan University. John, welcome back. This is a fascinating story to me. Before we go too far, give people a thumbnail sketch of what NUBANK is.
So NUBANK is very much a branch-free bank. It's primarily delivering banking services electronically, and as a result, its cost structure is far lower than a traditional bank that's encumbered with real estate that it can't easily move around. So second key point, I think, Sean, is that NUBANK is primarily targeting Gen X, Gen Y, Gen Z, younger generations of consumers who are not wedded to traditional bank branch structures and who are quite enamored of the fact that they're able to get a better deal, particularly with respect to interest rates or bank service charges from a bank that does have a lower cost structure. And of course, in Brazil, there are many, many millions of younger consumers who are a ready target for a NUBANK.
And NUBANK has already broken into the countries of Colombia and Mexico and has its sights set further. And you talked about the younger people, but I want to give people who may dismiss this as, oh, this is some kind of lark. Warren Buffett has invested large in this. He's a big supporter of this, and he's seen big returns so far on his investment. What does it mean to have someone like the Oracle of Omaha in your corner?
Well, it's always a help, and you may have noticed that the NUBANK stock price on the New York market has rebounded considerably to its highs of around about 2 years ago. And that's partly a function of the fact that you have the backing of a very significant, credible investor. That's always helpful when you're a new company coming in from an emerging market and listing on the New York exchanges.
Let's talk about neobanking, especially NUBANK. NUBANK just moved into Mexico. It's looking at that as an area that is ripe. It's got a lot of young people, and it's got a lot of people who don't have money in banks right now. Why is neobanking going to be attractive to those people?
Well, again, if you think about it, if you are an underbanked or an unbanked consumer, you know, the intimidating element of going into a traditional bank branch with a lot of security on the door, etc., it's quite awesome. And so if you can leverage online, especially from rural or semi-rural areas, a service that is providing very transparent and economical banking and financial services, you know, that's a big attraction to those folks who are up and coming, younger people who have small businesses. They're not part of the traditional banking system. They find that intimidating, but NUBANK is providing the outreach to them in a credible way that's enabling them to get these services that will further, of course, enhance their economic trajectory.
John, let's talk about NUBANK's CEO. He's 42. This NUBANK's been open 10 years, profitable this past year. He's achieved success in Brazil. Now, as I mentioned, moving out into Mexico and Colombia. Firstly, why those nations? And is it out of the realm of possibility to think that NUBANK could succeed here in the United States?
Well, first, Brazil, of course, is the behemoth in Latin America. And so you establish yourself first in the very large domestic market of Brazil. You figure out your systems, you get your processes right, and then you look around the region for other sizable markets which are underserved because they are dominated by an inefficient traditional banking system, hence the move into Mexico and Colombia. You know, personally, I think it's not out of the question that NUBANK will be able to establish a beachhead in the United States, probably in the Florida market initially, maybe Texas, maybe California, in other words, markets where there is a Hispanic and or Brazilian diaspora.
Right.
And in those markets, they'll be able to make a big difference and determine whether or not to go national.
John, we don't have a lot of time, but I'd like to hear why NUBANK isn't for everybody. Who is it for, though?
It's for younger people who are digitally savvy, trusting of digitally delivered services, and not interested in participating in their grandfather's banking system. In other words, going into a traditional bank branch to do business that can be done online.